Right, right. So that was my second sophomore year? But once our boys came back from Colonel Jackson's adventure in the Louisiana Territory, they weren't hurting so much for cooks anymore, so I came back to the station. Hold on, are we recording? Uh, crap. Uh, uh, Welcome to UNC Charlotte Community Radio. Wow, geez, I know this is unprofessional, but it looks like the station itself is an Obsidian subscriber to the days of the week, even though none of us are, and it went ahead and did the broadcast automatically. Well, the only news happening here on Wednesday night is that the factions have decided they're going to throw down with their tanks. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it in the Belk Plaza. Maybe be there around like 6:30 if you want in. Otherwise, maybe, I don't know, we'll play cards in the Union. I'm here tonight with Gnome, who has just been trading some stories with me. I guess we could broadcast this. Do you have any good stories?
Well, yeah. I mean, there was that one time where I held off the entire horde behind Hawthorne Hall.
Wow, that sounds believable.
Well, yeah, nobody's heard this story before.
Well, it's our duty to broadcast it then.
All right, well, fine. All right, well, so it was Wednesday night, and it was raining. It was terrible. And my group and I, we had just completed our first objective, and all of a sudden we heard it. The howls of War Drums. War Drums himself was leading a horde of 96 zombies.
Wow.
And then well, go ahead.
No, sorry, it doesn't seem like we ever get hordes that big anymore, or ever have in my memory.
Well,
but
yeah.
go on with the story.
Well, back in my day, I mean, this is the first time I've told this story to anybody, so this is all new to everybody.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we heard the cries of War Drum's horde. Had to be at least 100. And we heard them coming, and so we decided to try and fight for a refuge. We were just coming past the Student Health Center when we decided to hole up behind Hawthorne Hall. And as we turned around, as we walked in behind it, we saw them spilling over the hill in their hundreds, racing across the street. And then they were on us. I quickly formed an orderly battle line, and we all dug in, ready to sell our lives dearly. And then the chanting started.
Wow. You guys really took this game seriously.
What do you mean, still?
No, I just mean back when it was just a game, when the zombies weren't actually rising. It just feels like this might have been good training for the real thing.
What do you mean? It was the real thing.
Okay, go back to the story.
Zombies is life or death, man. We don't joke around.
Okay.
All
But
right.
continue.
So anyways, the chanting of the 300 zombies just started. War Drums ripped his shirt off and was driving the horde into a frenzy. And all of a sudden they started counting. They started counting down from 15. And at 7, I think somebody peed themselves. And at 5...
Hold on. Was it you, Andrew?
Of course not.
Good.
It was some freshman next to me, sitting behind the air refrigeration unit.
Okay. Continue.
Then we heard them count to 2, 1, and then they just raced forward. And we opened fire with everything we had. I was shooting away with my Ravonics, blowing Nerf darts at people at my blowpipe. The guy next to me throwing socks to kill the tanks. They were coming over the walls, man. I'm not even making this up. Coming over the walls. One came down behind me, and I just got a sock over my shoulder to stun him. And right before I ran out of my Ravonics, and I started throwing socks and darts on the ground, and I thought it was over, man. But all of a sudden, I realized it was lessening up. And all of a sudden, it was like we had hope. We could really do this. And then they started coming less and less and less.
Yes, I hear that's a thing that happens when people are around you.
Well, yeah. And anyways, they start coming less and less and less. And then the dead zombies created this choke funnel, and they couldn't do anything, and we just stunned all of them with our magical powers.
Wow. That is a good talent to have.
Well, yeah. Well, once we stunned all the 350 zombies that were there that night. And then, once they were all stunned, we charged out. We'd lost only one poor person who had sold their life dearly at the opening. And we started running for Belk, now that we'd completed our mission. But all of a sudden, it wasn't to last, as we heard the frantic cries of War Drums belling my name, Gnome! And so I knew what I had to do. I had to sell my life dearly. So I took my Revonics, turned and told my group, live for me, guys, live for me.
That sounds impressive and inspiring and not at all up your own ass.
Well, it wasn't, because I took my stand in front of Prospector. I turned and faced the fast zombies, the outriders of the Horde, and I gunned them down with my Revonics. And all of a sudden, the rest of the Horde was on me, and there was too many. I was throwing socks everywhere, and finally, somebody touched me in the ankle, and it was all over. But man, I had to at least have stunned another 20 of them. And then when I got back to Belk, they were all safe. My group had made it. We had completed the mission. Only my group was the one to finish that Wednesday night.
You know, Andrew, that's not how I remember the story at all, and I was broadcasting that night.
But I was there. You can't tell me what happened.
Fair enough. Didn't you also promise to only tell this story at Cookout?
I mean, no. I tell the story whenever I get a chance. I mean, I also brought you Cookout to eat while I told you, so that technically counts.
There is that, I suppose. Thank you for coming by, Gnome.
No problem, Alan.
Are you guys still listening? Geez, go away. I'll broadcast again tomorrow. For now, I have a big double cheddar style. Tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by 1,000 calories of greasy cow death with cheese and onions.